It's hero time! Also, this is the build your own Omnitrix, which, first off, you can switch out the faceplates. But let me switch back to this one for now, because I just saw Ben 10,010. The latest movie that apparently is not going to come out in America for a bit, but it appeared in Europe first, because that makes sense. But again, this Omnitrix right now, probably my favorite one out of the four I have. I think this probably might be my favorite one. But yeah, so Ben 10,010. If you've seen some of my Ben 10 videos, you know a few things. One, I prefer the original Ben 10 series as well as Omniverse. I don't really like Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. I have since come around and agree that the aliens are actually really good in Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. Some of them, even though, again, for me, like, they're really good. I like them, but again, some of them kind of negate older aliens, which kind of sucks. That means we'll never see Ditto again because of Echo and Slapback. But honestly, I've come around on Slapback. But yeah, so again, Alien wise, Alien Force and Ultimate Alien are somewhat good, and even like ideas like a big Ultimate thing. But also again, if you know also, my favorite episode of OG Ben 10 is Ben 10,000. That and Ken 10. And again, I firmly believe that if they wanted to continue the series after the original Ben 10, they should have followed Ben's son, Ken. Ken and Kevin's son should have went on an intergalactic road trip with Grandpa Max and maybe Ken's sister, which he has. But yeah, that's another thing for another time. But in either case, I really enjoyed those episodes where we could see into the future, see Ben as a full-on hero with like full control over the Omnitrix and stuff like that. And just the future, the idea of the future, those future episodes I think were cool to me. This episode isn't that far off on that too, though I will say we don't really get Ben being the ultimate super powerful Ben 10,000, even though he looks the part and he actually looks really good. Even when he's fat, it still looks good, honestly. But also apparently he's like 40 in that. But yeah, so something like that. Like this episode, I will say it's probably my favorite. My favorite Ben 10 reboot episode. I could probably say that, and the weird thing is because, for me, or anyone else who's seen it before, Kevin is my favorite character in this show, pretty much. He's pretty much my favorite. I think he's the most deeply well-written, best character. And I extremely like that. This, I extremely like because there were things I didn't really suspect or know that was coming, which, like, for example, I didn't think, because I knew Gwen was going to be a president, I didn't think she would employ all of Ben's enemies, and, basically that they turned good guys, kind of. And, Hex says it's survival, but I think it's a little bit more than that, but yeah, when Hex came out, I'm like, wait a minute, Hex is her sergeant? And then they showed Steam smiling. What the hell? And Zombosa, I'm looking like, okay, I'm in love with this idea. I'm in love with the idea that, yeah, these villains, later on in life are like, you know what? I don't want to be a villain anymore. And, they give them a second chance. And, basically, they make the most of it. Ben, Kevin, and all get most of it. I will say also, I extremely enjoyed... I extremely liked when they brought in, when they showed Kevin's version of Humongosaur, Humongoraptor. Because one thing I've noticed is that they, at least in the reboot, they've heavily given Humongosaur more Godzilla inspiration, which I love. I love that. Godzilla, again, if you know anything else about me, I love Godzilla. There's a bunch of Godzillas over there, there's Godzilla up there, Godzilla over there. Godzilla's in the background here. I don't know if you can tell it with this sort of protection. I think some more Godzilla's back there. I love Godzilla. So I loved all the things from, humongous were basically becoming Godzilla whenever they're in Tokyo. Or when he gets the Omni kicks, he becomes Mecha Godzilla almost. And in this, Kevin becomes Zilla from the 1999 Godzilla movie. His design is very similar, but this one has atomic breath and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm in love with this design. I love this so much. I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome. Let me get to the story real quick. We're on, like, stuff like that. Those interactions, stuff like that alone were pretty cool. And also, it does kind of confirm some things about, like, oh yeah, Kevin's watch is messing up. And, like, at this point, he's stuck as how he is. I'm going to bring up more in a minute. Because if this is the final season, that kind of sucks. And I'll bring it up in a minute why certain things. But anyways, so basically, the whole thing is that in the future, these random aliens start attacking. They're like these X-shaped that when they form together, they form into like a giant hive mind. They're very destructive. Gwen is the president, and basically she's trying to fight back these aliens. Doesn't really work. So she's like, Hex, her like second in command almost, but it's like, all right, you need help. We need to find Ben. And also apparently Grandpa Max is dead, and his mind is uploaded into like a digital thing. Later on, we find out Ben's living out in some junkyard. He's kind of self-exiled himself. It's kind of very much that Luke Skywalker thing that happened. And honestly, I'm okay with that. I liked it in The Last Jedi, and I'm okay with it here. But this is very something similar again. Like Ben's just kind of like living out his life. He's like basically just like I fucked up, and they never say exactly why, but they do also because it says later on that the reason why is because the reason why Grandpa Max is dead is Ben couldn't save him. Something happened where Ben could not save Grandpa Max, and that's why Grandpa Max is dead, and that's why Ben 10,000 is depressed. That's why he's kind of just exiled himself. That's why he's just like, yeah, I can't do this. And I like that. That is good. I like that a lot. Like that, it's like, yeah, the thing is, like, I give Alien Force shit for like why on earth did Ben take off his Omnitrix? Why did he stop being a hero when the world is filled with enemies and villains and all that stuff? Like, yeah, like, I'm just like, why would you do that? Oh, I wanted to be a normal kid. That's a terrible and selfish fucking reason. It literally is. And I don't see the original Ben giving up his Omnitrix anytime. If anything, I'd see him using it to help him in school and all that stuff as well. And this Ben 10,000, I could see, yeah, he loses someone extremely dear to him, and he's like, yeah, I messed up. What am I doing? And, he exiles himself. I could see that. But, especially with Gwen showing that she's a very competent fighter, as well as pulling something from the comics, which I have one, I couldn't find it. But, it's, like, the thing that was in the comics that they seem to pull from is that, yeah, that Gwen would use, like, a robotic suit, because she uses one very similarly, and it's also built by Steam Smith as well, to create basically a mechanical suit to fight things, and that was cool. I liked that. That was awesome. They continue that. They still have that Kevin is somewhat like still in love with Gwen, because like they're like, okay, we need someone with an Omnitrix to come help us. Gwen's first thing is get Kevin, and Kevin's like, and Kevin basically like, no, get the hell away from me, until they say like, Gwen needs your help, and he's like, I'm in. So that was cool. Ben, and again, like, also I will say though, like, this isn't the best written episode, but it's still a good one. And it's still my favorite. It doesn't have to be well written to be my favorite. But basically, the villains had basically said, alright, we have Project Bygone, which is the idea of, if things get screwed up, we're gonna travel to the past. And maybe we can fix it, maybe we just run away and figure something else out. Ben 10,000, after fighting the Surge, which are, again, this hive mind of, like, these little robots that kind of connect together, he's like, send me to the past. I have an idea. They're like, fine. They send him to the past, against Gwen's orders, but whatever. Sends him to the past, because he has, like, a vision. Goes to the past, finds, also, he says that, like, also, apparently this Ben is technologically savvy, because he says that he built a machine, and that's what called, the Zurge here, on accident, but they called the Zurge here, and I'm like, okay. Like, there's stuff going on, and I kind of hope the Season 5 is going to fill in the gaps what happens in between then and now, and maybe a little bit after, I hope. But yeah, so basically, Ben 10,000 goes to the past, Ben 10K goes to the past, beats up Steve Smythe to Gwen and Ben's, surprise, which also I love when that happens, because, like, Steve Smythe comes in with a Glenn Cloctopus, Ben turns into Surge, and is like, I can't use this thing, I don't know what the hell this is. Yeah, not the best idea to turn into that alien. Also, I do like Surge's design. Someone said, I was looking through YouTube once, at one point someone saw it and was like, this is the worst alien design ever. I'm like, it's fine. It's simplicity, and also it connects to what his powers are, being multiple of them connected together to create giant masses. But in any case, Ben basically gets beaten up by Clocksmith, and Gwen goes, it's just Clocksmith, and actually shows some freaking cool moves, doing the Muay Thai? I can't remember what it was. The Kabiara? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Her move that she was, like, dancing, moving out of the way of the fight. And I'm like, that's cool. I would still prefer if she had magic. Like, when I saw Hex be her second in command, I was kind of hoping that was kind of hinting at that Gwen, is eventually going to learn magic. Because I miss that. Like, that's something that I wish they... Again, another reason why I hate Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. Even though I know at some point they say, yes, magic is technically back, kind of. I still... Looking at it, I'm like, oh, God. Like, you could have kept it around. I would have loved to explore Gwen being not an Anodite, being a witch. She's a human who learned magic. Boom. Done. At least I got a Owl House, but still, like, come on. But in any case, and also, she's a special alien that doesn't have DNA, so Ben can't turn into her. Shut the hell up. So many retcon bullshit that you're trying to do to try to make Gwen special when Gwen was already special. Beside the point. But Ben 10K comes back in the past, beats Steve Smythe easily with forearms. Grandpa Max and that one lady with the sons, one of them being the one that gets into that giant mech made by Billions. He's apparently trying to hook up with her or hang out with her, date her, and I'm like, that's cool. But eventually, get them out of the way real quick. Ben 10K comes in, just starts hugging his grandpa like, oh my God, I missed you so much. And I'm like, that's actually really good. Mind you, I wasn't tearing up, but like, that was something where I'm just like, yeah, I believe this guy is, he misses his grandfather. He's talking to ghosts. He can physically hug his grandfather now. He's not just a hologram. And I'm like, that's really cool. I like that. Also, I love how they said, look, don't be alarmed, but I'm Ben from the future. Yeah? Like, everyone's like, yeah, we've seen movies. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, all right, that's still cool. But also, I like when little Ben starts annoying Ben 10K. And he's just like, was I always this annoying? But yeah, basically, that's when Ben 10K says, all right, I have a plan, but I need to take Ben to the future, and I'll bring him back if I can, Grandpa. And Ben's like, wait, if you can? But basically takes him to the future. He says he has a plan, but it really seems like he didn't. But even then, it's fine. I guess it was just having two Omnitrix heroes together to fight. But basically, they go to the future. Gwen's like, what the hell? I said, don't do this. And 10K basically goes, like Surge has basically been saying, we need the last piece of us that's making us weaker. We need that piece. And basically he's talking about the DNA of the Surge in the Omnitrix, which I guess it's like ectoneurites. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's cool. And then like, and the thing is, one thing I actually like is like Ben 10K's like they come back. Both Bens come to the future, and they're like, well, so also there's a Back to the Future. Always like, Ben's like, you're gonna take me back to the future? It's like, or Gwen going, get off my planet, alien, and Independence Day. It's really cool. But Ben 10K basically goes, if you do this, will you leave my home alone? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, he's like, all right, go ahead. He says like, yeah, just go ahead. Like, and again, that's a hero thing. That is a hero. The self-sacrifice is a hero thing. And I like that. This shows that Ben 10K, like, again, yeah, he's immature. He's still somewhat of a little brat. He argues with his cousin, all this stuff. But he's still the Ben from Ben 10. From his past, from that summer that they're happy about. Yeah, it's still that same Ben. It's still that thing. And that's what keeps pissing me off about Alien Force. Because I'm looking at it like, that's not Ben. That's not Gwen. That's not Kevin. Those are completely... That's... Alien Force is to the original Ben 10 what Riverdale is to Archie. To the Archie comics. That's what it is. They're not the same characters. They're the only same characters by name. And mind you, Riverdale, I'm on okay with. But yeah, they're not the same characters. But it's like, and again, they're not supposed to be. They're kind of their own version of it. But Alien Force is supposed to be a continuation of original. That's not how it's supposed to go. Like, there wouldn't be this ginormous switch even within that 5-year gap. Like, no. Like, Omniverse, and I guess Alien Force, because apparently they said they made it more immature, but I think Omniverse is the best version, the best evolution of the original. So, but anyways, yes, Ben 10K says, okay, take the watch. Take the watch. Like, I don't want anyone else to get hurt, and I will not lose any more family. Take it. And basically, probably would have killed 10K. Gwen, like, no! Shoots the monster down. Shoots the monster down. Regular Ben grabs 10K with wrath and goes, what are you doing? And basically gives him a pep talk. He's like, fine. They transform. They turn to Surge. They get info like, oh yeah, Surge. If they're together, they become stronger. They start taking pieces from the big Surge, get beaten, and they're like, wait, what if we just combine and then do it? They do that, connect, and go boop. Absorb half of it. There's a giant kaiju fight. The Surge's like, we will not be defeated. Ben 10K says, see ya! As they fire an energy beam. They turn into like a giant cannon fire energy beam, killing Surge. Everyone's day. The day is saved. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah. They take Ben back to the time portal, and they're like, wait, I have so many questions. Steve Stein then goes, grabs him, just throws him through the portal. He's like, oh, I've been waiting 30 years to do that. And I'm like, that's fucking great. But, and then that was the episode, and then Ben's in the future. Also, Ben 10K and Ben, like, worse, as Surge touch each other's, like, minds, I guess. So, like, there might be, like, some pass-away between the two, which, honestly, I'm okay with. I'd like a little more, because even, like, Grandpa Max says, you're now wise beyond your years. I'm like, cool. Also, give me 1 minute. Sorry, back, and I'm probably going to have to cut it again in a minute. But, yeah, so first off, I liked this episode a lot. I liked the idea that all of his villains, God, I shouldn't be doing this while I'm recording. I like that all of the villains basically eventually will become heroes. Well, I don't know, become heroes, but at least join the good guy's side. I like that. I like that they're not just evil and they just stay evil. Like, no, that actually shows that even the villains kind of have a character arc, and you actually do kind of see that. Not just Kevin, but like all the other characters kind of do have a character arc, though not as obviously proficient as Kevin, but yeah. That's cool. That was a cool thing. I like that bit. One thing that does concern me, though, again, is like, one thing I loved about the original Ben 10,000 episode was like, that's gonna be Ben later, and then they showed Ken. I'm like, oh my god, like you were exploring a little bit more of this time period and this world and so on. I'm like, oh my god, this is so awesome. That was cool. I loved that. And then is it Ultimate Alien? I'm not sure which one. I think it's Ultimate Alien, where like they're like, I'm Ultimate Ben 10,000. Like, what? And like, yeah, I don't transform. I just take on certain aspects of it, but not in the cool way where like this one AU where like Ben like merges with the Omnitrix and like, you know, he kind of forms the different parts of it on his own body, but you know, like you see it and like it looks really cool. No. When I turn into Humongousaur, I just get really big and bulky and like that. Like stupid shit. And I'm like, oh god, that's so stupid. And I think the creator, at least what the wiki says, that the creators even said like, yeah, that was stupid. That was a stupid idea. But again, like they were trying to say, oh well, you see, these are one of many timelines and such like that. So like your original timeline, and like again, them destroying the original Omnitrix, it's like, oh yeah, so the Ben 10,000 timeline can never happen. And I'm like, you're an idiot. This. Like, I love the idea of all this, and maybe we'll see more. I kind of hope, like, if this is the final season, we do see more, because, like, Kevin, we never saw Kevin what Kevin looked older. I'm assuming he looked how he does in Ken 10, hopefully, but we don't see how Kevin looks older because he's stuck with he's stuck with his Antitrix, transforming, he can't time out. I hope we get more of that, or we see more of his story, hopefully, in the next few episodes. I hope that, again, like, we probably will never see what happens to Grandpa Max. Like, basically what I'm trying to say is that, like, if there was a timeline where it's like, okay, you can change this timeline, this would be the Ben 10,000 timeline, I would be okay with him changing. Also, the end where, like, he shaved and then put on, like, the Alien Force jacket, and I'm like, okay, that's a nice little nod to the Alien Force guys. Also, I forgot to mention the aliens. Spider Monkey, really cool to see him. The little Jolt battery guy, really cool. I think that was the only two that like Ben doesn't have access to now. Seeing Ben 10 adult Heat Blast again, as well as goatee forearms, really cool. I like those. I like seeing those ones designs again. That was really cool. Even in the reboot, again, they knew to go back to the original because the original had some of the best damn designs, and like not try to remake it like they did Stinkfly. God, but what was I trying to say? Sorry, I had some orange chicken. But yeah, like, that was cool. I liked that. Like, I like those bits. But yeah, like, if there was a timeline where it's like, okay, we can kind of change this would be the timeline. Because, again, the whole thing about the Ben 10,000 one, it wasn't, oh no, we have to change Ben's future, change the future because of some big shit that's going on. No, they were smart and be like, no, the future is pretty okay. In fact, it's really freaking cool. Like, the future's really freaking cool. Aliens are living on Earth. Like, there's kind of harmony and peace. Ben now has full access to the Omnitrix. All this stuff. Like, that's really cool. And, like, the only big problem was that Ben kind of got sucked into his work and became a dick. Like, and, like, he wasn't having fun anymore. That was the issue. That was the big calamity issue of just that. And I'm like, that's okay. That's cool. I like that. Like, that's a cool thing. That's a cool character. It's not like, we have to change the future. It's like, no. Ben just needs to learn from his past self to have fun. That's a good lesson. That's a really good lesson. This one, like, I feel like this Ben, like, this future, like, if it was that, like, the future did get destroyed, they could have did a Heroes. They have the future get destroyed, and maybe, you know, Ben 10K does tell him, like, you need to never make this, or you never need to do this. And maybe that's what stops it. Also, I thought these surges were going to be connected to upgrades somehow. And maybe they will later on. I don't know. Also, it was really cool when Ben 10,000 turned into the little Surge, you see it's the classic colors of black with green. Because Ben 10 colors are black, white, with accents of green. Ben 10's colors are not green with black and accents of white. This is a good example of it. Because, again, this is one of the better design. This is another example of it. Black or white is the majority, and then the accents are green. I could yell about Alienverse for a long time, but not Alienverse, Alien Force for a very long time. But yes, that's at least how I always took it. And this one, it would look cool when he turned like that. Beside the point, this is a future again that I wouldn't be against them going, okay, we need to change this. We need to change the future, or save the future, or fix the future somehow. Maybe we'll get something like that later on, because again, there is the thing that Grandma Max is gonna die because Ben screws up. That is something that looks like it's gonna happen. Also, I do like how this is kind of the opposite of the original Ben 10,000 episode, which is really cool too. Because where again, original Ben 10,000, Ben was hero all the time and needed to learn to have fun. This Ben never wants to be hero and even hesitates to hit the watch when he needs to, but just wants to be like just wants to have just fun all the time. And I like that. That was cool. But yeah, I'll probably give more thoughts later. My camera's about to die, but I extremely like this episode. I hope we get more, just in case. I hope the next few ones are really good. I hope there's going to be another season. I really, really do. I feel like this show needs another season, or at least if there's going to be something really big happening, let it happen. Let it be really good, because I want to see more explored. I want to see more Kevin explored. I hope they can wrap up his storyline. I want to see more about Ben's storyline, because again, he's weary about the Omnitrix, whether he should wield it or not, or should he keep it or not. And also we see in Ben 10,010, he can't take it off, even though you could, but beside the point. But yeah, like I want to see more. I legitimately want to see more. I still like this a lot. I liked that Ben 10K was in there. I haven't seen the original one in a while, so I don't remember if that is his original voice. Someone had told me that it was. If it is, yeah, I think I kind of vaguely remember. I remember I liked the voice in the original one, and this one I actually really liked too. Really damn cool. I was really cool seeing this. I want, if you're going to do another reboot, again, continuation of original Ben 10, follow Ken. Original Ben 10, follow Ken. Simple. Simple and easy. If you want to say it's an alternate timeline, fine. Hell, if you want to make Gwen 10, I would be fine with it. But please, don't mess this up. Oh my god, you know how cool it would be if you continued this timeline where Ben didn't get the Omnitrix, but Gwen got it? And like Ben hastily kind of has to teach Gwen how to use the Omnitrix? And she can gain new abilities. Maybe like female versions have different variation of powers. I don't know. Come on. But thank you for watching the videos I've done. Links are on my face, script on there somewhere. Please share my videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. I extremely enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and we will see you later. It's hero time.